Good day, dear viewers. Today, we're diving into a story that has shaken global markets, made billionaires sweat, and forced politicians to scramble. It's all about Donald Trump's explosive decision that could rewrite the rules of global trade. Why did the US hit pause? Why is China in the crosshairs while Sri Lanka and Vietnam face the brunt? And how will this impact your wallet? All this in our special report. Part 1. The Backstory. How it all began exactly 1 week ago. On April 2nd, Donald Trump announced a decision likened to an economic earthquake. The U.S. unveiled sweeping import tariffs targeting 180 countries and territories. The goal? To protect American markets, bring manufacturing home, and, as Trump himself declared, stop the exploitation of the U.S. by other nations. But what are these tariffs? Simply put, they're taxes on imported goods. The higher the tariff, the more expensive foreign products become for consumers. Trump's logic: if Chinese smartphones or Vietnamese clothing get pricier, Americans will buy local. But there's a flip side: rising prices, trade wars, and collapsing trust. The initial plan was brutal. Most countries faced 10% tariffs, but some got hammered. Vietnam, 46%, Sri Lanka, 44%, Cambodia, 49%. For China, Trump's arch-rival, the rate skyrocketed to 125%. Why these numbers? Experts link them to export volumes. Vietnam, for instance, became a key U.S. electronics supplier after companies shifted production from China. A curious twist: Russia and Ukraine were treated differently. While Kyiv got a 10% tariff, Moscow dodged sanctions entirely. This likely hints at a deeper geopolitical chess game. Part 2. The sudden U-turn, a 90-day reset. But the story took an unexpected turn on April 9th. Trump announced a 90-day pause. On Truth Social, he wrote, "We're giving a chance to those willing to talk. 10% instead of original rates, but only for those who didn't retaliate." What does this mean? 75-plus countries, including the EU, Mexico, and India, agreed to negotiate. Their tariffs dropped to 10% for 3 months. China is the exception. Beijing retaliated, so its goods now face a 125% tax. They chose confrontation, they'll get it in full, Trump declared. Vietnam, Sri Lanka, Cambodia remain under fire. Their rates stay high. The White House claims these nations failed to show flexibility. Why the pause? Analysts see two motives. First, a carrot-and-stick tactic. Scare allies with high tariffs, extract concessions, then bargain. Second, pressure from business elites. Even Trump's allies are criticizing the move. Part 3. Market meltdown. Stocks crash. Billionaires panic. Trump's decision triggered instant chaos. The S&P 500 and Dow Jones plunged 3 to 4%, their worst drop in a year. Asian markets, including Hong Kong and Shanghai, lost $500 billion in value overnight. But the real drama came from Trump's usual supporters, American billionaires. Bill Ackman, Pershing Square hedge fund. This is a disaster for confidence. Small businesses and low-income consumers will suffer first. We voted for prosperity, not recession. Elon Musk, per The Washington Post, personally called Trump, begging him to reconsider. Why? Tesla sources parts from Asia, and higher tariffs could derail its $25,000 budget EV plans. Even Larry Fink, BlackRock CEO, warned, the risk of global stagflation is now real. Why is business opposed? Domino effect. Costlier imports, higher retail prices, lower demand, economic slowdown. Supply chain chaos. Companies spent years building Asian logistics networks. New barriers threaten collapse. Part 4. China versus US. Trade War 2.0. While others got a breather, China is in the storm's eye. A 125% tariff isn't just a jab. It's a throwback to 2018 to 2020, when the trade war cost the global economy $1 trillion. Why won't Beijing back down? Pride. Yielding to the US would mean losing face domestically and internationally. Alternative markets. China is pivoting exports to Asia and Africa to reduce US dependence. Tech independence. Projects like Made in China 2025 aim to cut reliance on American tech. Impact on China, blow to export-driven industries, electronics, textiles, steel, rising unemployment in coastal provinces, home to factories supplying the U.S. But China isn't backing down. Retaliatory tariffs target agricultural goods from Trump's red states. Irony? Farmers who voted for Trump in 2020 may lose their markets. Part 5. Winners and losers. Vietnam and Sri Lanka, their rate stayed high. For Vietnam, where 80% of the economy relies on exports, this is a crisis. Analysts predict a 2 to 3% GDP drop this quarter. Ukraine. A 10% tariff stings but isn't fatal. Kyiv must now scramble for EU markets, a tough task amid war. Russia. No tariffs, a surprise. Washington may be preserving dialogue channels or avoiding energy price spikes. U.S. consumers. Those buying cheap Asian goods will suffer. Price hikes on clothes, electronics, and toys are inevitable. Part 6. What happens in 90 days? Trump warned, if countries don't deal, we'll restore 50% tariffs. But negotiations are a minefield. EU demands lifting steel/aluminum tariffs. India seeks IT sector exemptions. Mexico threatens auto parts supply cuts. The big question? Can Trump balance political ambition with economic reality? Or will this decision trigger a global recession? Closing. Folks, this saga has it all. Geopolitics, stock charts, even Elon Musk on the phone. One thing's clear, the world is at a crossroads. Will these 90 days bring compromise or chaos? Stay tuned and we'll keep you updated. Don't forget to like and subscribe. There's plenty more ahead. Until next time. End of video. Translated for energetic narration. Includes hooks, contrasts, quotes, and rhetorical questions. Focus on real-world consequences adds relatability.
Yes.
Do you have to increase tariffs on China even more before they come to the table or give you a phone
I
call?
can't imagine it. No, I can't imagine it. I don't think so. I don't think I'll have to do it. I don't think we'll have to do it more. We calculated it very carefully. By the way, when you hear 100, a lot of people charge much more than that. Canada charges much more than that to our farmers, our dairy farmers. Many people charge much more than 100 or 125 in this case. But I don't, it's still a significant number. I don't see that.